Hello everyone. Just finished day one of Funnel Hacking Live. Amazing day, packed with a lot of information, a lot of networking. Got to meet a lot of people. Trying to fill this book with notes. Got a lot taken for the day one. Very informative day and emotional day. There was places I was very happy, places where I couldn't help but tears were rolling down my cheeks. So I'm happy I was here, and I was happy to be a part of the event, and got to hear some really good speakers, starting with Russell, Stacey, Steven. So what I'm planning to do is do a quick recap. I might not be able to hit all of the points, but at least the highlights of each of the meetings, or each of the speeches and the networking events, and just things I'm doing here, so those who can't be here get a good overview. So Russell started the day off with his talk about hook story offer and how it's important if your funnel's not working. So you can pay him a lot of money, but he'll tell you it's one of those three hook story offers not working. So he just talked to us about how offer, story, and hook that way. But he talked about the offer is you get paid for the value providing. And one of the quotes he repeats almost every speech he has about this is people spend more dollars for the same package, same product packaged in a different way. For example, he told us the story about how you bought a book for $10, but he didn't read it, so he eventually ended up buying the audio CD version of it, which he spent like $97. It was 10 times more, but he was able to listen to it on his way to and back from work. And he just said it's the same book, but somebody just read it out, and then it was just packaged different ways. So people do that all the time. So, and then how offer could have three components: a written word where you could compile examples of or crowdsourced books, or from public domain; audio, you can find public domain books, interview others, or compile hard to find audio podcast. And the video, you can do a screen capture, do interviewing, how-to videos, and workshop videos. Sorry, I keep looking at my notes, but basically an offer of anything you do could be combined with the written word, which are books, or compile public domain 3 books, and with an audio where you're interviewing people, or hard to find audio podcasts and you're compiling, or a video which has how-to videos, workshop videos, or screen capture of you explaining a certain concept. All that makes your offer more attractive. And then moving on to the story, your story increases the value of your offer. The story helps people to break people's false belief patterns, and went through the 4 important things. Again, if you read his books, you understand it. But big domino story, the origin story, the vehicles, the internal beliefs and the external beliefs, and how can you position your product for that. So also, create a story inventory, and then you can use those story inventory for various other offers you're making. And what is a hook? A hook is just grabs the attention for you to tell them the story. So use the hook just to grab their attention. How do you make them stop scrolling when they're moving fast on their Facebook? That's your hook. Once you capture them, you tell them the story, and then you make them the offer. One of the hacks he told us about was what hooks work. So he said, when you're scrolling, something stops you, it worked for you, right? So you need to kind of deconstruct that hook and see what made you stop in it. So take notes of that, and go to the 2 Comma Club members and the very successful ClickFunnels entrepreneurs, and look at what they do and kind of model their hooks. Is basically a very good feedback he told us. So that was a great presentation. It was a recap for me, but it was definitely reinforcing some of the concepts. So the second person was Stacey. Martino, her conversation was about how she maintains about 91% retention rate with her guests in the company, sorry, in her customers in the company that she works for. She talked about a yellow brick road, which is a version of the value ladder, and how do you leverage her framework in any business that you want to run to, and how do you make that yellow brick road on overlay that on top of your value ladder. Basically, you just need to know the first step. You don't have to know the entire one. As your customers are going through the first step, you get feedback and validation what the second step needs to be. So she started with a quick 8-step transformation program, which had a quick actionable results that are on 30 days. When they go to the process, she figured out what the next step should be in the value chain. So it also gives an opportunity for you to see your guest through the process. So she calls them not renewal offers, because renewal in her business, at least, renewing basically meant you failed it for the first time, so you're going to renew it again and try it again. So she makes her offers all ascension offers. She does not do renewal offers. Renewal, the problem is the first step didn't get you to the goal. It's my responsibility as an entrepreneur to give them an ascension offer, and that helps with the people sticking with the program and moving on. And she gave us examples of how customers who moved through the different steps in the yellow brick road were helping the other ones who are behind them, encouraging them to move forward, and how much better things were as they moved up the chain. So choose your avatar. Some of the pointers is choose your avatar, figure out their Oz or the goals and outcome, and design your yellow brick road. What steps takes you from here to their goals, and then as you're navigating it, you create and you offer the next step, right? So it was an interesting take on what she does in her own relationship development business, and how her value chain is laid out, and how everybody should think about an ascension path rather than a renewal offer, and how she's made it very successful, and a 91% retention is extraordinary. So she talked to us through that. So it was pretty interesting. Next was Mr. Boom, Steven Larson. He talked about offer creation and pre-funnel, basically analytics, and funnels are now working. You made what you made what you would buy. You're too focused on your product, or you're talking to the wrong person. So you went through a little bit about the red ocean analytics, and who do we really need to talk to. I think the biggest takeaway for me from that was most of us are trying to convert diehards from one in the red ocean over, or people who are already having success with whatever tool, product, service they're using the red ocean over, and that is the toughest transition to make. The easiest people to convert are people who hate the red ocean option, and you talk to them with the pain point, saying, hey, do you want to use this tool, or what? You don't like the speed, you don't like the functionality, you hate it, then there's another option. And they're the easiest people to convert, instead of banging your head against diehards who get into a lot of arguments over it. So there are enough niches you can find within the ocean of people who do not like the existing options or hate the existing options that you can sell to. We talked through some of the options on how you can do the analytics within the red ocean. How do you find your the vehicle, how the existing personal identity, and understand the customer origin story. Why do you care, and why do they want a solution? The more you understand that, the easier it is for you to make the offer to get them to move over from the red ocean to the blue ocean where you are servicing. So moving on, Alex Shaffron was a very interesting talk about momentum, and knowing what are the things that makes you different, like if you from a desired level of contribution where you're currently contributing, and how do you close the contribution gap, and growing your business through momentum by referrals is tough to compete with. And he talked about some internal, external factors. How did he make it happen? So we have to define first who your crowd is, and then you provide them with a plan. A simple plans are remembered better and they're shared easier. So again, when you're defining your crowd, if your crowd is not understanding or resonating with your message, niche down until you get to a point where they resonate with your message, and then provide them with a plan, and then defend again. So basically, defend your movement, identify what is working against it, pressure, noise your tribe feels by the competition, market, and who they are. Defend again. Just be very vocal supporter of it. Makes you a subject matter expert in the area, and that your tribe starts looking up to you, and also start advocating for it. Be the loudest voice for your movement and say what no one else will say, and that helps you create a movement that helps you build your business and move you forward. So moving on to the next speech was Nicholas and Amanda. They talked about your mess becoming a message. It was a pretty interesting conversation. How I think there were some lies or disbeliefs in what the actual thing is. My story doesn't matter. The easiest way for people to know, like, and know you is your story, is the real truth. Lie two is your story isn't powerful enough. But the actual reality is your breakdowns will become others' breakthroughs. Like these people really knew me, they will leave me. People connect with your pain more than your success. So the bottom line is, make your mess, things that went wrong with your life, it really is what makes your stories more powerful. And feel free to share that. The more vulnerable you are, the more your tribe will follow you, and because they can resonate with how you got out of that, rather than just talking about your successes. Talk about things that made you the person you are, and you'll have a better message for your audience. So one of my favorite talks was by Mattox about being a parent. It was very heartwarming for me to listen to this. He's raised a really brilliant young man, and his whole message was he was focused on his career. And I think a day some transition happened when he really saw how things were from his kid's perspective, and he stopped and he became a full-time dad and focused all of his energy in being the best dad ever, which is what I strive to be. So it was amazing watching him encourage his son, read more books, watch more videos, and he has a lot of similar concepts about what to teach kids. I've been telling my wife, is sales and marketing is a skill that everybody should have, and it's something I teach my kids. Give them a pen to sell to me. Always ask them to negotiate instead of just settling for whatever we tell them. Now, sometimes they're a pain in the butt, but overall, I just want them to never take no as an answer, never settle, be able to negotiate. I think in life there's always room for negotiation with whom, or including us. So as frustrating as it gets at times, I think in the long run it's better for them, so, and better for us. So but anyway, there were some similarities. So but he's homeschooled his kid after a while, and the young man is now speaker, and he's got a big following. He has his own YouTube channel. So he writes, Matt wrote a letter every day to his son, and there's specific times when their phones are off, so when it's a one-on-one time with the kids. So there was a couple of secrets that he said that makes his relationship with his son better, or make him a better person. Is the sales and marketing is, on mastering sales is the number one secret that he's teaching his son, and the second one is giving back to the poor. And I think between those two things, he's gonna make a big difference in his son's life, and so many other kids' life, and things they're already doing. The homeless and other kids and kids who are depressed, and look up to his son is amazing. I hope to instill some of these things into my kids' lives too. So I'm really excited about taking some of this and going back and applying things I've learned today to my business, to my coaching business, whether it's my consulting business or my cryo business or my personal life. So I'm really excited about what happened day one, and after that we had a documentary about the underground. So basically it's part of the Liberate and Educate umbrella, and let me see what exactly it was. It was a Triple Take was the name of the documentary, and yes, it was definitely a very interesting documentary about how children in Colombia who were being used for sex slavery kind of jobs, and how they were rescued, and how there's an organization working towards, and how ClickFunnels is a part of it. So that was amazing. And then there's a village impact where every new funnel that's created $1 is donated to the village impact fund for building schools in Kenya. So overall, it's a proud day for me to be part of the ClickFunnels family and be able to see all the good that we are doing. A good day overall. Day starts again in another 8 hours, so I'm gonna get some sleep, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with the day 2 update. 3 more days to go, so I can't wait. This is gonna be fun. Have a great night, guys, and I'll talk to you next day tomorrow.